efficiency, really an engineering marvel. And I say that just because I think it helps give some perspective on the situation and why it's so difficult to change this. And even when you remove people at the top and we think we're, in this counterinsurgency phase, even taking out all sorts of key nodes, the entire system exists in a way that, to enslave humanity, to be blunt. And all the little nodes in that pyramid, are going to continue marching on, even without them being blackmailed or bribed. And I know some of these folks personally. So I put that out there as just a way to help understand it, or as I'm trying to understand where we're going. And the other thing that it's a big question, and I think I've heard Jeff mention this in terms of putting out some other ideas for where we may be going. And maybe we could frame it in terms of like, are we being led towards like a soft landing for the normies? Like the minimal viable amount of disclosure to have some sort of changing of the guard at the top, potentially where the matrix is just under new ownership, hate to go there, versus the full awakening, the full golden age of somehow. It's hard to even imagine what that looks like because you kind of have to reimagine every facet of the civilization.
Right.
So it's sort of an open-ended question, just to stir some thoughts, some conversation.
Brilliant question. Brilliant question. Let me start. Well, since you mentioned, let me start. I was gonna say, all right, let's start with Kate.
You see the vein popping out of my forehead? Okay, I love this. I love this so much. And I think about this all the time because, we have these fantasies of all the corruption getting cleaned out and getting into the golden age. And there's a part of me that thinks about that for a second and wonders if, can I get spiritual for a second? I really think that this earth exists in order to test us, and we cannot be tested without the evil, that the light cannot exist without the darkness. And so if you believe, like I believe, that the point, if this life was all there was, it would be absolutely tragic. But if you believe in something after this, then you have to believe that all of the bad stuff, the grimy stuff, the darkness exists for a purpose. And I think that purpose is so that we can test ourselves, that we can, come up against it and forge ourselves in fire and be, strive towards our, to what we're meant to strive towards. Now, does that mean that we can't have a golden age? I actually think we've already been through a golden age. I think that all of the architecture left over from like a Tartaria era or whatever, we are in the dark ages now.
For sure.
When we say, oh, well, there were primitive people, they had mud roads and they lived in shacks, but somehow they were all these amazing artisans.
We live in shacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. We live in shacks made out of glue.
So, exactly. So, I do think that there was a time that there was more harmony on this planet and that the civilization left behind clues of that. Worldwide, they left clues that there was a worldwide civilization. And they seem to have had a lot more harmony and had a lot more going on for them than we do. And this seems like a very dark era. I really do think these are the dark ages.
Satan's little season, perhaps.
Yes. So what does that mean? Does that mean, is it possible to move towards another kind of golden age? I do think so, but important to keep in mind that we're never going to eradicate all of it because it is by design. It is a unique, special, we shouldn't bemoan it. We should embrace it because without all of that, we would have no opportunity to grow and to become strong and to become better people. So yeah, love that.
Really, I don't want to follow that one up. Jeff, you go next.
Oh, thanks.
Well done.
Well, look, there are people, and I kind of lean in this direction. There are people who believe that all of the things we're experiencing is merely distraction, when we're really in the process of ascension, right? And I don't want to get too woo-woo because some of us believe it, but there are certain degrees of this ascension. And I think in the end, we will all ascend at the levels that are set for us, if that makes sense. So, when we think about, the comment that some people might not make it all the way, but they'll go far enough to get to the end point where they need to be in their world or with their, contracts and whatever that people talk about. So anyway, long story short, I think we are moving on that continuum towards the golden age. And I agree with Kate. I'm a big Tartarian fan. I mean, I believe I've experienced it personally myself. I really believe in it.
Yeah, we inherited a previous civilization. We don't know who built it. We don't know what happened. Our whole civilization arc is one of deception and enslavement. That's really all we know. That's what I mean. There is no corruption. Something happened in our epoch, started in, premised on deception and control. And we're slowly moving out of that. And the white hats are doing the same deception. So that's kind of this soft landing. All I'm saying, and I'm not trying to be negative on it, I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm just a dude, truthing, whatever. I think we should maybe who knows? Maybe we're just going to have to start uncovering the white hat shadowy cabal that psyops us forever, and really just starting trust. Who's ready to start turning the screws on those cats?
Hey, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Mango, I don't think you're dooming or blackpilling at all. I think this is I think you're a candidate for question of the night. I'm with you. Patrick, let me get your take real quick.
Yeah. So the insight that it's not corrupt, it is doing what it's meant to do, which is to enslave us. There's a lot of truth to that. I think that a lot of I think our history is fake. I think our cosmology is fake. I think our science is fake. Everything's freaking fake. So when somebody says to me, you can't just go calling everything fake and gay, I'm like, that's where you're wrong, kid. And so you're going to find an ally in me in all the stuff that you're saying. I would go and just play a little semantics with you instead of calling it corruption, because you do make a very good point. I would say that the difference between what we think these systems are supposed to do and what the systems are actually designed to do are completely different things. I think you can look at a lot of commonalities among languages throughout the earth and find strange cognates among words between civilizations that never should have had contact with each other as early as those cognates would have required. That is all I needed to know that we've been lied to. I think there was a common, giant, super advanced technological civilization that is no longer with us, or is perhaps still with us.
Emphasis on giant, as these people seemed like they were pretty tall based on the architecture they built.
The Smoky God? Smoky God much?
You mean you don't build a 30-foot doorway by hand when you don't have to? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only if I only have hand chisels to do it.
Donkey diarrhea.
Yeah.
No, they had chisels. And by the way, like if you look at the populations of the time in which these buildings were supposedly built, it would have taken every man, woman, and child to construct them. And by the way, every single man, woman, and child would have had to been the greatest architect and artisan, and they were crafting it perfectly.
And they didn't build any bathrooms either. So apparently they didn't have digestive tracts. So there's that.
They didn't have the ether, man. They didn't need no mangoes. They had the ether.
Then you get to the World's Fair rabbit hole, and the whole thing just falls apart after that. But anyway, we're not going to do that right now.
Love you guys.
Let me add one thing. I love all the answers. I think we do have to caution ourselves. All right. And I don't want to disrespect any other people out there who are podcasting. But I think it comes back down to all this stuff, whether it's like the Q operation itself or Trump or whatever you want to pick. It really does come down to managing expectations. And we have to be realistic about what does the golden age mean, right? Does it mean like we're going to wake up like in a year in December, January, let me try over, July 4th, 2026, and there's going to be no corruption left in the world because Q got rid of it all like that? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be an asshole to anybody. That's not realistic, right? There is always going to be corruption. There has been throughout human history. But do I believe that we can move and move in a direction that can dramatically make people's lives better? Look, let's just start with the health system and things like that. Like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff where you can exact significant change in a 4 to 10 year period of time, financially as well. And then I would caution one other thing. It's also, let's not forget that just it goes back to the same thing with Donna, the last caller, right? We are in the time of exposure. So look, there's corruption in every government everywhere, but what are we doing right now? We're also living in a psyop that's designed to make it amplified. So that's part of it as well. But Mango, great call, my friend. Great questions. I love it. And thank you for calling in.
Thanks, guys.
By the way, thank you. Think about how boring that would be too. I mean, like
Right.
as much as we covet it, like, oh man, but like if all our problems were solved.
Let me give you one example. Patrick, we covered this, I think, I don't remember. It might have been on the round table yesterday. I'm going to play this clip. It's very short, and then I'll tell you why I'm showing it.
Movement tonight away from non-binary gender identities. A new study indicates such identification among Gen Z Americans is dropping. Correspondent Alexandria Hoff takes a look at the numbers tonight.
The gender identity debate has been reignited by a new report titled The Decline of Trans and Queer Identity Among Young Americans, which reveals a drop in the number of young adults who identify as anything other than male or female. Highs averaged 6.8% in 2023 and have fallen below 4%, according to the report.
I'm just going to stop right there. If you took all the data off that chart, you basically have the Biden administration. You have the heart of the psyop. Do we think it's a coincidence that it in 2022 and 2023, it looked like the whole freaking world was going trans everywhere? You couldn't go out the door without tripping over a blade of grass that was identifying as a different plant. It was absurd, right? It was everywhere. So like that led us into, I didn't know about the some of the gender affirming drugs and how bad they were. I didn't know about some of the laws that were being made. We had things like California making laws that they could be a sanctuary state for trans, right? All that took place. Now look at this chart. Is it a coincidence it went up during Biden and now it's coming back down? Like, what does that tell you? Is it a problem? Is it real? Sure. Is it actually as bad as it was made to look on our television screen? My argument would be absolutely not. And I say that because I think you can parallel that with a lot of things right now, in addition to the corruption. Not that there's not corruption. Trust me, I lived in New Jersey for 18 years. I could write an encyclopedia about corruption. It exists. But the question is, how is it going to affect your day-to-day life when we come out of the psyops? And it's kind of an open-ended thing, but it's just that clip popped in my head because they're drilling this hard now. Like all of a sudden, trans just went away. Okay, sure it did.
Like everything, we study everything so hard, and when you go online and especially on social media, because we know about 5G warfare. And how everything is used against us to make ourselves compartmentalize ourselves and start to look at everybody as a them and we're an us, and we're just like separating ourselves until we fight about everything. And then when you go out in the real world, you're like, it's total. You don't think about any of that stuff. Like, look at all of the divisiveness right now over Israel, for example. When you go out into your real world, does that even occur to you? Do you even think anything about the religion of the person that you're talking to, interacting with, your kid's teacher? No, unless it's somebody's trying to shove something down your throat, which, by the way, doesn't typically happen in person. All that stuff is happening online. So it's a very different world.
It's a great point. Patrick, since we're about an hour and a half in, I'd like to give the floor to you for 1 minute before we continue with our calls.
Absolutely. My dear friends, I want you to go to tulipblooms.shop. Go to tulipblooms.shop. Go look at the reviews for Rainfall, our flagship product. This is a lotion made from a soothing, all-natural aloe base and some really, really incredible food-grade plant oils like amaranth oil, argan oil, castor oil, evening primrose oil, rosehip oil, sea buckthorn fruit oil. These things go straight into your skin. Read the reviews. They're incredible. And right now, we're doing a special. You get an 8-ounce bottle of Rainfall from tulipblooms.shop. We tack on a 2-ounce bottle of Rainfall. So that's like a 25% bonus to the amount of lotion that you're getting. Not only that, if you use promo code channel17, you get 10% off. Just read the reviews. People are talking about it all over the place. You put it on, it sinks in, and the scents that are available, check those out too. We even have neroli infused Rainfall. Now, the reviews speak for themselves. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Everybody's loving it. Go to tulipblooms.shop. Don't forget to use promo code channel17.
Thanks, brother. And I'm in love with your beard oil. I do have to say that, man.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you're using it.
Oh, yeah. Every day. Every day.
Neroli. I have the neroli.
Neroli. By the way, that's also known as orange blossom. Often doesn't occur to me to point out that neroli is orange blossom.
And it's like a very fresh kind of unisex, it's like a happy scent. It's like
it is.
Oh.
It is. And just so you know, every single drop, they have to kill an entire orange tree. So that gives me so much pleasure.
I see a lot of people, despite all the problems. We got a bunch of you guys on here tonight. If I could ask you, please take a minute, hit that positive affirmation button, the heart button on X, the thumbs up on Rumble. I have both Patrick's channel right here, where you can find the Pat and Jeff show, and Kate's channel right here, the Kate Awakening. Please go over on Rumble, give them each a follow and a thumbs up. They all do great work on Rumble. And the best way you can support everybody here on the screen is hitting that thumbs up and giving a follow on Rumble. We greatly appreciate your support. Let's bring in next our friend Sean. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Good
How's everything? You ready for the double mix one?
This
I know, right?
Professional mic and everything. All right.
I know, and I got Pepe right on my right
it.
side.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
Drop 3789. Looking for the flood, sir. What storm, Mr. President? You'll see.
I love it.
What's going on, guys? By the way, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to you, I have a whole new wife.
Woohoo! Hey, you got one of the white tops.
Yeah.
That's good.
Um,
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So, real quick, I don't really have too much to say. I just want to also just put out there T-Sweet 13 Gina. If she's in the chat right now, I just want to wish her a very happy birthday today. I just want to put it out there for her. And yeah, I've been pretty busy.
You're starting a new show.
Yes, I am, actually.
So, Kate, you might not know, Sean is a friend, well, originally a friend of David Becker's, a friend of the show, a caller. And sorry, Sean, I'm going to blow you up for a second. He's a regular caller, and he's one of those people that noticed a lot of the people in the chat and on Telegram and such that were struggling. So he actually came on here, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, and he said, you know what, throw my email address up on the screen, and if anybody's hurting or anything, reach out to me. And he had a lot of people reaching out. So he came back the next week and he said, you know what, put my phone number on the screen. And he put his phone number on the screen. And then that has blossomed now into a podcast, and the address is on the screen right there. Please go and give him a follow. And sorry, Sean, I couldn't not tell that story, because what you've been doing for the community at large is incredible. And I'm incredibly grateful to know you. I know everybody here is as well. So with that, I'll give the floor back to you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. I mean, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for you guys, you and Rambo and everybody else on D class on Channel 17, I wouldn't be sitting here doing what I'm going to do right now. Scott Beer has helped me through everything that I need to go through. He's been very patient with me. I'm not very techie, so he's been showing me, small little things here and there. He's been behind me all the way. Mr. Leota, he's been just an amazing, amazing person. Basically, everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's watching, I just want to thank you so much. I love you guys so much. I just want to give like a really big hug. I love everybody here. I really do. And you're just my family. That's basically it. You're just my family, and I do what I have to do to show the love right back. I take calls all the time, and actually, since you put my Rumble channel on, you can also put my phone number up again. I don't mind taking calls all the time. It helps out. It helps out with everybody. They can call me. They can text me at any time. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I will say thank you guys so much for everything that you've done for me and put me where I am. And now I can hit a broader audience. And let's go. Let's do this.
Tell everybody when you're going to be on.
Well, it's going to be Sunday at 3:00 Eastern time. It's going to be Conspiracy Therapist 17.
Love it.
You come on. It's going to be somewhat of a call-in show. I might have one, maybe two guests sometimes, depending. I have a good friend of mine that I've been friends with for 16 years. He's going to be on actually this Sunday. My friend Dante, that actually kicked me down a rabbit hole, and he didn't even bother to give me a parachute. He just strapped an anvil to my ass and just said goodbye. So
that's awesome, man. You sound great on that microphone. I can't let you go without asking you something on current events. What was your favorite psyop of the week?
Actually, my favorite psyop of the week was that I think it was the beginning of the week that our good friend Barry decided that he wanted to go back to 10 Downing, and then all of a sudden Prince Andrew got his ass handed to him. So does that coincide with each other? Could be, maybe.
Heck of a coincidence, right?
I know. You know what? There's a lot of coincidences in this movement. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of them.
Well, I love you, brother. Thank you for doing what you're doing. We'll all be tuning in on Sunday, and please give the girls a hug for me.
I will, and I love you guys, and I love everybody out there. Just to let you know, you can call me at any time. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk.
Thanks, brother.
And I'll see you on Sunday.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. Talk to you later.
Yep. Love that dude. He's incredible. Really is. All right, let's go to next. Eric Aloha. Eric, welcome. You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm using my phone. I didn't know if the Wi-Fi if it needed to be Wi-Fi. Is it okay?
No, you're good. You sound great.
Okay. I'm going to pretend there's not a lot of people watching because it's kind of crazy to think there's 3,000 people listening. So I'll just pretend there's just 4 here.
Just pretend they're naked.
Oh, okay. 3,000. Okay. I don't know what I should ask or if I should tell you my background. I guess I'll tell you my background quick. I'm living in Hawaii. I came here in 2010. When 9/11 happened, I completely questioned it. And for some reason, well, there is a reason. My intuition was not to watch the footage that they were putting out, all the playing on the TV over and over. I didn't watch it the whole first year. It was crazy. And I remember sitting in a bar the next year and it was on and I was like, oh yeah, I never looked at that. But anyway, I was red pilled in 2015 by a veteran in a supermarket here in Hawaii. We would just talk while he was stocking the shelves, and then he would get called to the register, and it would interrupt our like little session. But he would tell me like, "Go check out Alex Jones. Have you heard of him?" And I was like, "No, I don't." So I started watching Alex Jones, and then he was like, "Go find the book Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Alex Springermeyer or whatever." So I'd like look at that, and he just got me like researching, and I just looked for every documentary I could on YouTube, and it was before they took them off. There was a lot on YouTube, and then I was following Jordan Sather, and he had this whiteboard. It was like when he was starting out, and he was like, "There's someone posting named R." And I was listening to him talk about it. And then like the next day or the day after, he was like, "There's another post by Q. This is interesting." And then right from that first day, like I just started following on the boards, like all the drops coming out, and just followed the news cycle every day through the whole thing. And it was just so excruciating to watch mainstream news and how they're attacking Trump the whole time. It was like, it felt like being pulled behind a pickup truck, like chained and just dragging yourself on the ground, like all the lies and propaganda. But then in 2020, after the stolen election, I started getting kind of weary and turning, because I followed the whole thing day by day. I started turning towards God more. And then I got a message that my dad passed away. And I think what happened was he went in the hospital, and I think they gave him a jab, and then he went home, and a month later he passed away at home. So then I had to go back to his house to Pennsylvania, and it was just like a war zone there. It was really, really intense. But I just turned to God even more, and got stronger with my connection to God and like believing in him. So when I got through that whole time, I came back to Hawaii, and I had an apartment near the beach, and I just had been through like such a 8-month intense thing, and I was still following everything going on in the world. But I went to the beach at sunrise, and I met this young lady, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And she said, "Oh, I used to live here years ago. I grew up here." And we're just talking. The sun's coming up, and I go, "Oh, so how did you do with COVID?" That's kind of my way of feeling out where someone is. And I was like, "Did you fall for everything?" And I didn't know if she was going to attack me or what. And she goes, "No, I didn't. And I didn't get the vaccine." And I was like, "Whoa." And she said, "The reason why is because my family talked me into getting vaccines to protect me from cancer that was in my family. And it injured my heart." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "I'm so sorry that happened to you." And so, I said, "Well, I'll see you around." And she was just there on vacation. And right after she left, I heard, "Go write her a song." So I went back to my apartment, and I kind of like am an amateur musician. And I wrote her a song about the things she talked about and kind of blessing her. And then I just uploaded it to YouTube and wanted to like share it with her. But I never really was able to let her know that I wrote the song for her. So then after that, what I heard was just keep writing songs on the beach. So I just went to the sunrise every morning and just kept writing songs. And I heard again, like, just put them on YouTube. Don't edit them. If you make a mistake, just put it out, and it'll save all the recordings. So that when I met her, it was actually July 4th also. And anyway, I was told just put it on YouTube, so I did, and I just kept writing these songs, and which was really strange because I've been around a lot of musicians and they go into studios and they meticulously work on their things and their lyrics and get everything polished. But like, I felt the Holy Spirit was telling me, do the opposite of that. Just follow me and just write with me, and then just send it out to people, and don't worry about how good you look. Just do that. So I did that. And that's like been like 3 years. And I just want to tell you, this group right now is the best group, that best Q truther patriot group that's ever come together, like in the chats, and then this call-in show, and now like with Sean and Beer, like reaching out to people. It's like the most friendly, warm-hearted, spirit-filled group with humor and love and intelligence that I've seen since this whole thing. And I've been in this for 10 years now. So that's just what came to be shared.
Let me go to Kate first. I'm not good at taking compliments. Kate, say something. That's incredible, Eric. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
I agree with you, and I think that's we're learning to be here for each other, and that's like we were talking about before. It's a very important role of what we're all here to do, and I'm glad that these guys are answering that call.
I mean, look, I appreciate that. I think all of us recognize that there's people that have helped us along the way. Jeff and I have met recently, but Kate and Patrick are two people that I watched long before I had a podcast, and each one of them helped me to get to where I am. And I don't mean that in a podcasting world. I mean in just an understanding and keeping my head on straight throughout all this stuff. And there's other people that we've had on here. I work a lot with Patriot Underground. Well, I spent many dark nights, and I mean dark, literally in the dark, listening to Patriot Underground the first couple of years that he was podcasting. Again, just trying to figure it out. So for all of us, I think collectively, anything we can do, just like Sean, as you saw on the screen, to give back, I think that's the best thing anyone could do. And that's why I say it all the time, and I know it's cliche, but that's why every last person in these chats and on Telegram and X, like, everyone's equal, because you never know when there's one person in the chat that's going to reach out and say something that's going to help people. So Eric, thank you so much for the call, my friend. I appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Take care. Let's go to our good friend Quinny. Quinny, what's up? Is she there? There she is. Why can't I hear you, Quinny?
What's up, Janice?
Quinny?
She's
I can see you. I can't hear you.
All sorts of activation is taking place, I think.
All right, Quinny, I'll come back to you right after the next call. Let me see if you can get your I don't know what's up with your audio, but I'll come back to you. I'll come right back to you. Let's go to Drew James. Drew James, what's up, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Going well.
Right. All right.
No, you sound good.
All right, good. Not much. All these indictments that we're seeing finally, yeah, it's a good thing, but we have to get these judges out first. Isn't that how this movie's going? Because as you see, one of them already interfered with something. One of them. Well, I forgot which case it was.
Yeah, you have the judge that put the nationwide injunction against the layoffs, and as we showed everybody last night, what is it? Trump versus CASA Inc. June 27, 2025. The Supreme Court already ruled that district judges can't do nationwide injunctions. So it's just more of the rinse and repeat, but it kind of goes back to the question I was asking Kate earlier, right? Do we have to get the judges out? No, I don't think it's going to go that way. That's why.
Because of the military thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go around the horn. I don't get personally too twisted up in any of these judges that are doing anything right now. First of all, Patrick, you and I talk about this all the time. Realistically, what do we say? How many federal judges are there? I think it's like 800.
There's 800 of them. And
Right.
according to the rule of law, every single one of them gets a veto on anything the president does. That's not our system. However, because of Marbury versus Madison, 1803, they've made it so that, technically speaking, over time, it became that any federal judge could say, that's just not constitutional. And then it became, that's just something I don't like. And it just stuck. So unless we figure out a way to reassert the fact that the judiciary is there to settle disputes between parties over the wording of federal law, and not that they get a veto over anything the president does. Just think about how absurd it can become. You say, I am sorry, I am a federal judge, and I'm ordering you to send all those Venezuelan criminals back to Atlanta.
Oh, wait, they did that.
Oh, yeah, wait, that's real. So, yeah, we have to, Marbury versus Madison was wrongly decided. We live, technically speaking, under a judicial dictatorship because of Marbury versus Madison. That's a long time to have judicial overreach. So how that gets fixed, I think it's already been fixed, and I think it's because of the fact that we're going to put the civilian justices on the bench, not the judicial bench, but like the sporting bench. They're going to have to sit this one out, and we're going to have military justice take place. And that is why we have, during the devolution phase, we have this reordering of the Uniform Code of Military Justice to comport more with the expectations of civilian proceedings, because the people are going to have to be satisfied that impartial justice was dispensed.
Let me read the exact language. In Trump versus Casa Inc., the U.S. Supreme Court held that district courts do not have the authority to issue broad or universal or nationwide injunctions that extend beyond the parties before them. Exactly what Patrick said. So if Kate and Patrick have a case that they bring and it affects Kate and Patrick, you can issue an injunction. But something like saying you can't fire any federal, that's a broad, nationwide, doesn't affect a specific party. So
the government is shut down. They cannot interfere.
And I'll just say that if you think
he has the ability to fire people.
If you think about the logic, though, the moment you say the Constitution says whatever the Article 3 officers of the Constitution say it says, not Article 1, not Article 2. Article 3, the judges. The Constitution says whatever they say it says. Supreme Court's the final word on what the Constitution means. As long as that corruption is in there, then think about this. When the federal judge rules federally that this particular thing is wrong about this particular federal law, and therefore it affects Patrick in his case against Kate, and therefore it only affects Patrick and Kate. Well, what about the rest of the country? Federal judge has just said that thing doesn't apply. So it only affects the parties there. So you introduce a logical inconsistency to the process, but it all goes back to this wrongly decided concept of federal judges get the final word on what the Constitution says.
Yep.
I agree.
Good. Very
Jeff,
good.
Kate, anything you want to add?
Not really. I mean, to me, it goes back to how corruption has infiltrated everything. It's like bed bugs. How do you clean it out? You have to get it all out. We know that, but
that's going to take forever, though.
Yeah, but I mean, is it because we don't know what we don't know, and so that's the only thing that helps me keep my sanity is not because I know that it's not up to me. Thank God. So I'm just trusting that there is a plan and that is going to get taken care of, because you're right. You can't arrest people and then have dirty dirty judges, dirty, jails, whatever, then release them back. It serves absolutely no purpose. You have to get the corruption out of every system before you pull the trigger, so to speak.
Yep. Well said. And Drew, it goes right back to what we were just talking about perception versus reality, right? If you really look at it, we were talking about, even if you go back however many years, all these national headlines, you're talking about what, Patrick? What have we heard from? Like 30 of the judges are actually involved out of 800 and something.
Maybe.
And we played Patrick or Drew. I don't know if you saw the show we did last Saturday where we went through that video that Professor David Clements did, which, by the way, Patrick and Joe and I
that was brilliant.
Yeah. So what did he?
I can't wait till he's on.
He looked at Donald Trump and he said the entire judiciary, it's all corrupt. And Trump looked at him and goes, "Is it? All of it?" So, again, perception versus reality. But again, I think all this ends up in the hands of the military. There's no other way.
Oh yeah. It's not going to be in the federal.
So,
I mean, they're going to try to throw out all these indictments.
For now, I think
Comey and against Bolton, the Bolton indictment.
Yeah, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if they do, or don't be shocked if they get a slap on the wrist, because that's the cycle we're in. Trump has a victory, and then the judge comes in and blocks it. Rinse and repeat. So, thanks, brother. Good hearing from you.
Oh wait, hold on. And one question for Jeff, because I'm sure he's in on this. Jeff, like BTC, like Bitcoin and everything, how they said they were not going to do an ETF. They were not. I think BlackRock came out and said they were not doing ETFs with Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden, a couple months later, they did ETFs with Bitcoin. Think that's going to happen in XRP? They did they're rinsing, repeating with that.
Yeah, that's a great question. The XRP concept, all the buzz around XRP, that it's built an infrastructure and it's going to be the device for or the platform for business and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, Drew. It's a great question. I don't know if any of us really know for sure.
I think it's going to be because they've worked out some kind of a deal, because XRP actually scales. And they've got the platform built. They've got something that is a stable coin US dollar called RLUSD.
RLUSD.
Real USD. And, there was a beef bourguignon eaten by Donald Trump, Brad Garlinghouse, and Stuart Alderati during the period between Trump's election and the 2025 inauguration. They're doing something with XRP, and it'll work. The product is fantastic.
Better than Swift. It's way better than Swift.
Well, my freaking smartphone is better than Swift.
Yeah, well, but don't forget, they came out in July. I forget who the guy is who is Trump's crypto AI czar, and they announced we will be implementing a revolutionary new blockchain-based global payment system. That was already announced. Then he said, we're going to tokenize one crypto, or whatever the ratio is, for $1. That was all in the same press conference. The only thing missing from it is what? Gold and silver.
What system?
Well, what system, of course, but the last component you need to stop the infinite printing and the worthless dollar is you need to make it the whole thing finite. You do that with gold and silver. We were talking about it the other day. I mean, not enough people talk about the fact that Patrick, I forget if you were on the show, but does anyone know what we actually keep gold on the books at since 1971?
It's like $60.
It's $42.21. Not the $4,200 it's worth right now.
Wow, it's literally 1,000x. It's or 1,000
times.
So, yeah, and gold and silver are amazing. They're amazing as currency. They fit a lot of the categories. It's really hard to fake something being silver. It's really hard to. It's hard to. You can't destroy it. It's a good currency. So is gold. Bitcoin has some serious nasty limitations, and Bitcoin can't tokenize things. It can't scale. The only way to make it fast is to hire a bunch of crooks to start a company to build a second layer on top of it, the second layer that basically just rebuilds the central banks and just puts them in a cryptocurrency. So I can tell you one thing for absolute certain, and I'll bet my life on this. Whatever that system is, it's not going to be Bitcoin.
It's not Bitcoin.
No chance.
I know it's
No
not Bitcoin.
chance. So you can all take that to the bank, and that's not financial advice, even though
No.
it is.
None of us are
One last
financial
thing for
advisors.
you. Yes,
keep going.
obviously. One last thing for you, Patrick. Here's an interesting question: was Jaron a plant?
Yes.
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Jaron
Jaron
Campanella
Campanella.
is a freaking Masonic satanic scumbag.
he took the money and run.
I wish Patrick would tell us more how he really feels.
I know he's so shy.
Yeah.
It's
Dave, when
tragic.
is that show? I want my
the Flat Earth show. We were literally just talking about that beforehand. We're working on it. Kate, Flat Earth or Round Earth?
I'm
She
smart
doesn't
enough.
care.
I'm smart enough to realize I'm dumb enough not to have an opinion. Like I would
Not
never
to have an
ever
opinion,
fight with
yeah.
anybody about how the hell would I know?
Right. Fair point. Fair point. Maybe
It's
we'll add her.
interesting, though.
Maybe
It's
we'll add
interesting.
Kate to the panel. We're trying to figure out the right panel, Drew. It's a dicey thing to get people together.
I know.
that don't want to kill each other over this topic.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have to.
Horizontal datum lines prove that there's no curvature. Just look it up.
3 points to Gryffindor. There we go.
1 inch per mile squared. All right, Drew. Thanks, buddy.
All right, love you.
I don't think Drew's called in once in like 2 years without slipping in a flat Earth point on every call. He always manages to work it in. All right, let's try Quinny again. Quinny.
Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Yay! Woohoo! I
What's
have
up?
a techie person here, and he couldn't even figure it out. So I went on my iPad. So hi all, how are ya?
What's up?
I picked the wrong month to quit drinking. I have a competition a week from tomorrow, so I stopped drinking, lose weight, and clear my head, and it sucks right now. So
How do you own a bar and not drink? I don't think I could do that.
oh boy, yeah, it's not easy. I got to walk away. That's why I spend the time in my office. So, and not only that, food is not fun to be around. And my kitchen manager says, "Hey, what do you think about this new burger I go, "Oh, thanks. I can't eat it. Appreciate that." So, boy. Anyways,
I quit drinking in June of 2013, and 3 weeks later, I was back at the bar, just not drinking.
well, congratulations.
I love to smoke cigarettes indoors, so I just switched the alcohol for Red Bull and almost torched my liver with the Red Bull. So it was great.
I like red wine. That's my downfall. So
I actually used to do cigarettes, Red Bull, and vodka all at the same time.
oh shit.
Not a
Oh,
good
sorry. So you guys are all right about the normies and how to handle being around them and own a restaurant and the people on talking about Charlie Kirk, and because they all know who I am at my restaurant. I don't hide it, and some people get pissed and some people don't care, and I don't personally. I think we're at the point that doesn't matter really. So anyway, the people talking about Charlie Kirk, and I gotta walk away. I can't deal with it. I want to punch them, like, and then try that without drinking too. It's fun. Anyways, so here in Minnesota, the city of St. Paul has a mayor, and he is trying to change the gun laws, and it's against the federal. And he's literally going out there saying, "Yep, we're not going to allow you to do guns here and there, whatever." And it's going to be interesting because we think he's a white hat. We think he was placed in because he's a really nice guy, but he allowed during the George Floyd deal to destroy St. Paul as much as Minneapolis. So look him up. His last name's Carter, and he's trying his best to destroy Minnesota. But I don't know in other states, and I want to ask you guys this regarding education. I had someone just point out to me, third grade, define sexual orientation, sense of identity, gender identity, describe your body parts, explain sex assignment at birth, gender identity, and expression. All this in third grade now. That's on the third grade itinerary or whatever you want to call it.
Curriculum.
So
Syllabus.
do you guys see that in all the other states, or is Minnesota just that batshit crazy right now?
What's on the syllabus in Minnesota?
At third grade, they actually have the kids define their sexual orientation, and they can't use any no binary gender pronouns in their language. Third grade.
You need to start arresting teachers. I don't know. I don't send my kids to public school. I live in Spring, Texas. I'm pretty sure our public schools don't do that shit.
Yeah, I have a son that's in 5th grade. None of that in his school, and we're really close with his principal. Also, he's very like-minded, and so luckily we haven't seen that here in Arizona, or at least in my school district.
You're gonna know my answer here in Florida. They've banned like the bathroom stuff, the gender affirming care. I mean, I don't want to say they've taken care of all of it, but on the flip side, I do know that up in good old New Jersey, it probably still is happening right now, but the last I saw, like they were battling over some of those books. Like there's the one book where it actually teaches somebody how to give a oral sex. They had that for 7-year-olds. They were trying to inject it in the whole state.
Well, I can tell you in the Pacific Northwest, it's crazy. It's just insane. And people think of California being so crazy liberal, but Oregon and Washington State are even worse. So there's some crazy stuff that's still going on.
Well, my son is going back to school to be a cop. He got talked into it. He's a custodial engineer at the main city of St. Paul police station, and he was in the military, so they talked him into going to school, and he's at this community college. And he showed me last week this paper he had to write, and it was kissing up to the whole LGQPTR whatever. And I looked at him, I go, "You're shitting me." And he goes, "No, Mom, I don't want to fail the class. I'm going to write whatever they want me to write." And I said, "Well, I'm proud of you for making sure you have a passing grade, but at what point do you just look at the teacher and say you're crazy, And he has to do it. That's how they are. And this is a home of Tampon Timmy, so what do you expect?"
What's the big deal of failing some gay class like that?
Well, he wants to be a cop, and if he doesn't pass, he can't be a cop. It's it's the beginning part. So, okay.
I'd love to guess what's going on, but Joe and I talk about this all the time. Like there's certain states, Minnesota is one of them, New York, obviously another, California. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what level of control there is. But if I had a state, if I were in charge of this, and I'm certainly not, and I had a state where that kind of stuff was going on and they're not doing the things they are in places like Texas and Florida, how would I solve it? I would keep turning the volume up just to try to piss off the parents. That's the only thing you do. You have to get them engaged. You have to get them activated.
It's kind of like you had that control. What is it called? A control, whatever. When went during COVID with Florida and every other state was telling you, if you don't wear a mask, you don't do the 6 feet, you're going to die. And then you had states that weren't doing that, namely Florida. And then the other states could look at Florida and be like, well, they're not all dead. So it is a good mechanism to have this contrast.
Yeah. I've talked about that for a long time. I think I think in particular, Florida is, and it's not perfect down here. I don't say that. There's plenty of problems, but it's like Florida is being used, and Texas to some degree is like, these are the states doing the right things, and we're going to highlight that in the media. And then places like California, and just buckle up in New York. New York City is about to turn into something crazy, and I think they're being used as the contrast with that.
Okay, one more thing. the thing about the chemtrails and because the federal government shut down, no chemtrails. Didn't Thomas Massey just say that?
He did.
Yeah, they're still around. Is that a narrative they're pushing to wake people up about chemtrails?
I think so. I saw that Tucker said something about it the other day. I've seen some buzz about it. I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me when I see when I see those typical voices saying that kind of thing. Sure, that would be my guess.
We're still seeing chemtrails here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it's coming. We have beautiful, clear blue skies, and then we get the chemtrails, and then it rains 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
It's been consistent. Yep.
I haven't seen them here in Arizona in a while, and it's been beautiful skies, and we've had a lot of rain, which obviously we don't typically get in Arizona, but I haven't seen a chemtrail in a while here.
Yep.
Crazy. I haven't been looking for the chemtrail.
It's worth noting that this is the first time in how many years we haven't had a hurricane make landfall, and we're almost in the end of October.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of people noticing that one too. So I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, Quinny, I did see that out there, and let's see.
Yeah. My sister Sheila says to say hi to everybody. She's more deep into this than I am because she's retired and she has all the time in the world, and she's hilarious. She just pokes the bear on Facebook. She loves getting into it with people, and you guys would love it. You got to read it. She doesn't give a shit anymore. It's hilarious.
Because she gave so much of a shit. Well, anyway.
Yep.
Good talking to Quinny.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Quinny sends me pictures like every week. It's pretty funny how many people make their way to PubQ because of all these shows. She's always sending me pictures of people that show up there. So
it was
very
cool. The name is just so great.
Yeah, we have to do. We're gonna do a meetup there.
Oh hell yeah!
But like I said, it's not gonna happen in the winter because I no. Minneapolis winter? No. We'll do it in the spring. All right. I don't know if I should take this one. Let's see. First time, long time. Do you want to be on the screen?
First time caller, long time listener. I am a big fan of all four of you on the screen, so much so that I took a break from my rainfall lubricated back rub just to tell you guys that Trump's owned by Israel, nothing's happening, and the school system is completely fake and gay. Hi guys.
Hi. Howdy.
You sound very black-pilled, caller.
I've been in this game.
Do you know about the plan to save the world?
There's a plan?
Yeah.
No, Kim's here too. She was actually listening to that school stuff. Did you want to actually say something on that?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I just want to say, I know Patrick said fire the teachers, but sometimes our hands are tied. I would not necessarily say that I'm one that's going to follow something like that, because I would probably quit my job if I had to teach some of the things that Quinny was talking about. I would absolutely quit. I don't believe in that, but I also say that parents have to get involved in the school board and make sure that crap gets out of the school. That's first and foremost.
I don't know what you do with that, because
there's not enough parent involvement. That is the biggest problem I have in my job. There's not enough parent involvement.
Which is, in my opinion, why Dave was so accurate in his statement. Keep turning up the volume, because that is literally the Great Awakening encapsulated. We need to make aware so that they can, do things like what General Flynn says in, local action equals national impact.
And there's a good strategy. Yeah, just real quick, a good strategy, because a lot of parents are afraid to speak up because they're afraid that there'll be retribution to their children. So my wife and I have been talking about this a lot, because we live in a community where we don't have any children or grandchildren that attend this school. So that's a perfect place for us to speak up and attack. So I think, for those of us who are living in a community where we don't have any, relatives that are children, we should be the ones that can speak up and really talk about it, because that way we don't have to have any fear about retribution to our children. Because who knows what the school would do if you're not there. God, think about it. These young kids, it's just harmful. And I think that's what a lot of parents are thinking.
When we get into conversations like this about education, it just reminds me that there's a whole lot more, I think, going on than we know, and a whole lot more to still come. Let's not forget, I don't want to say let them off the hook, because I believe there's a plan, but what was one of the biggest things Trump came and promised? He's going to return education back to the states. That's still on the table, but we're getting distracted. Right now, we're dealing with Israel and Epstein and the FBI and Charlie Kirk and all. Like, we're still in this giant psyop thing where week to week they're putting our eyes where they want to be. But like at some point, if he's going to promises made, promises kept, what's that going to look like? You know, I know he wrote the executive order. I know they sort of started, but they haven't torn down the Department of Education yet. There's no way they're going to tear that down and then not have some formal plan. I know he's got a bunch of things in Agenda 2025, which I know that they say that's not his, but it is. And he wrote a bunch of executives about education and returning patriotic education and a truth and reconciliation. They've spoken about all this stuff. We just haven't seen it yet. You know, we got to remind ourselves as even though we're 8 years into this operation, we're optically only 10 months now into this third administration. So the education thing's a big one. Don't forget the American Academy. We're supposed to have online college for free coming. Where's that? You know, I know it's all coming, but it just when people get impatient, like you got to think about all the things he said. There's a lot of stuff coming. A lot of stuff coming.
Can I make one more statement? Because I always see this comment when we talk about this. Homeschooling probably is the best option for your kids specifically. I see it kind of on a larger scale, and I'm not saying that to knock homeschooling, because if you can do it, by all means. But the issue I see is that, sure, do I believe we're greater in numbers? When I say we, I mean the movement collectively. Conservatism, et cetera, yes. But there's a large portion of that sample that feels as if they can't homeschool. And so I believe it's imperative that we have people like Kim, like parents that are getting involved, doing something to change. Because if we just all, you know, if the ones that can just start homeschooling, then we're literally giving up on the battle that is the school system. And for me, look, I work 1 million hours a day. Kim's got 3 kids at home. I got 1 at home. We're still working to go, show up at school board meetings. Kim specifically is working very hard. We need people like that because we can't just abandon the school system and allow them to indoctrinate the rest of the people that can't have the time to homeschool or are already on the other side. We lose the battle then.
Yep. Or even the people that have no interest in homeschooling, or we're not just looking out for our own children. We are looking out for the next generation of children, and there are some of those parents are not going to be looking out for their own kids. So we need to clean up education, not just for the people who are awake and get that it's crap, but for the people who don't even get that it's crap.
But even for me as a teacher, I can tell you now that I would not do as well teaching my own children because they give me pushback where they won't in school. So I see that part of it as well. But I also see that there's so many parents not involved and they just leave everything to the teachers, teaching them how to, with hygiene, teaching them how to tie shoes, teaching them manners, teaching them all of the things about waiting and being patient. Like all of those type of social skills is left up to teachers in addition to the academic portion. So it's not just like that parents need to get so involved. Parents we need to hold them accountable for being actual parents because a teacher can only do so much.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well said.
We didn't want to hijack, but we did want to stop in. Honestly, jokes aside, I truly look up to all 4 of you. Jeff, you're awesome, bro. Kate, it's great to see you on this call-in show. Patrick, I love you, bro. And Dave, thanks for letting me in, dude. I did call you today. If you want to get together, I know the kids do want to meet you. So
I'm around. By the way, for those of you interested, I do homeschool Rambo 3 days a week.
That's true. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for having us.
Love you guys. Take care. All right. We got a few more to go, guys. I want to be respectful of Patrick and Jeff and Kate's time because they've been so generous with it on a Friday night. So we got about 5 of you guys left. If you could be just considerate of everyone's time and the people waiting behind you so we can get through and not leave anybody hanging, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's keep going with Taylor. Taylor, welcome.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Welcome.
My apologies if my camera's not on because I am sitting in a position where it would just look unprofessional.
You're good. You're good. What's on your mind?
So I wanted to first say that I should probably I should probably give my a little bit of my background like one of the people earlier did, which is are you okay with that?
Yeah, just if you could be somewhat timely because we're trying to get through the rest of the calls, but keep going.
Yes. So I actually I'm actually 31 years old, so I'm actually probably the youngest person here, most likely.
How dare you, sir? Quite frankly.
My apologies.
Yeah,
But
Kate's 25. Come on, guys.
Okay. Fair enough. But I've actually always I've never really been, let's say, blue pilled from so to speak. Because I'm back up until like around 2017. I was always not into politics or anything like that. When I went through school, I was kind of always like, okay, let me just get through school. Let me get home and let me play the next game that's coming out on my PlayStation or whatever. And then around 2017, when Trump got into office for the first time, I was curious about the whole 9/11 thing because I actually had never heard about 9/11 at all, surprisingly enough. So I watched a new Pearl Harbor. It's a 5-hour documentary. I'm sure you've heard of it, right?
Yep.
So I got into that. Then I watched. Then I got into JFK to 9/11. Everything's a rich man's trick. Since I was curious about the JFK assassination, and it just kind of went from there. I got into World War II truth a few years later. I discovered Mike King and his work. By the way, shout out to Mike King.
Yep.
So, but I do want to say though that I might be a little weird in saying this, but one of the things that really I think got me to get red pill, so to speak, like be interested in these subjects. And I know this is going to sound strange, but do you know what anime is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. So I know it's going to sound strange, but I actually believe that anime is what got me to be interested in becoming red pilled because of I've always been interested in the topics that they discuss in Japanese animation shows, and they always are dealing with much more, let's say, adult like topics than Western shows do. And it got me curious, thinking, hey, maybe this conspiratorial stuff exists in real life too. So it got me into it. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Of course. Yep.
So that's why, even though Japanese animation is its own problem, I still got to give props to it. But my point is that I do want to say that I really I want to speak for my generation by saying that I really feel like that a lot of us have been lost to the edges of liberalism and also to the Democrat Party, because I usually hang out on my online spaces with more of a more mainstream platforms like Discord or YouTube, etc. And anytime I try to bring up these kind of topics, it always ends in disaster. I'm sure you can understand where it goes. It's gotten me a little black-pilled over the years in trying to in the idea of everyone waking up into the idea of, oh, we've all been lied to, etc., etc. I have parents who are very Democrat oriented. They watch Rachel Maddow every single day. I mean, every Monday whenever she's on. My mom recently said that if you ever talk about Trump or you talk about Democrats in a negative way, then I will not associate with you anymore. I live with her, by the way, so. I am in Washington State. So you were talking about what's your name on the bottom right? My apologies.
That's Jeff.
Oh, so yeah, I know exactly what you mean by the Pacific Northwest. You brought up Washington State earlier and how bad it is over here. It's very bad. It's very bad. I've actually thought about trying to run as mayor of my local city, but then I realized, oh wait, that's not a realistic goal because I don't have any money, nor does anyone know who I am. So.
You bring up an interesting point because I feel like whenever I talk to somebody that's under 40, let's say, or even under 35, I see two different paths right now. What Taylor is saying is I know a lot of people like that, but then I see like a whole swath of people who didn't grow up on cable and didn't get indoctrinated into Fox versus CNN or anything else. And they seem to be almost waking up faster than people my age or older. Jeff, I see you nodding your head. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Some of the younger people are way ahead of the curve, and people like, baby boomers like me, they're still not awake. And some of these young people are just all over this. So, yeah, I agree.
What do you think, Kate?
I mean, even the internet is a cesspool no matter where you go. And so like Discord and all of that, they're going to be infiltrated as well. It really isn't a great gauge in any social media platform to see, get the pulse of humanity. Obviously you have your own experience with it with your parents. You know that it's not fake, that there are people that are liberal and listen to Rachel Maddow. But as far as gauging how bad it is, I think it's hard to do on social media, because when you think about the psyop, the information war, they have just as much money to funnel into the information war as they would have to funnel into a real war, boots on the ground, missiles, tanks, you name it. There's no end to the amount of people or bots or whatever that they can put literally everywhere. So so don't let yourself get too discouraged on whatever you're seeing going on online. Stay focused on what you see in the real world. And obviously, it's hard when your loved ones don't agree with you. But I can tell you from experience that some of the people that seemed the furthest away had the quickest awakening. And some of those people that seem pretty close, they take a lot longer. So you never know.
I love it. Great answer. Taylor, thank you so much for the call, my friend. Hang in there.
Yep. Thank you for letting me on. I appreciate it, man.
Anytime, my friend. Take care.
Take care.
All right. We're going to keep going with Brian Fund, P-F-U-N-D, Fund. Brian?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And if you want to put me up, that's fine. I'm going to try to keep it short. There are so many things that I could talk about. I'll give you a brief background. I was in special operations for 14 years, been part of the Bin Laden mission and all that.
Thank you for your service.
I can go into a whole lot, but especially listening to tonight. I did a lot on, I wrote an article, a book, kind of a booklet on PsyOps. And the reason I did that is because I realized that I was fooled. Fooled at a point where I had to come to grips with, I fell for a PsyOps to go willingly over and fight after 9/11. And I don't believe 9/11 was what 9/11 was. I wrote some stuff on that. But I'm going to tell you that one of the hardest things that I've ever been through in my life was coming to grips with, I have been fooled. I woke up to being fooled. And how do you deal with that? And how I dealt with that is digging into things. And it's not been easy. But it was, I guess, necessary, if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm coming on here with my real name. I'm not even going anonymous, which I should probably have done, but I don't really care. I could write books on things, and my friends in special operations would basically turn their back on me. So I don't go that far with it. But with that being said, is everything that you guys are talking about and everything that everybody else is waking up to, it was very difficult to deal with, that I was psyoped into, I want to go over to the Middle East and kill these people that attacked our country. And I don't believe 100% that that's what happened. And when I woke up to that, that was a very, very hard thing to deal with. And I'm managing. I haven't, went totally crazy, but it's been something, it's been a struggle with my marriage. My wife, or soon to be ex-wife, she's kind of a liberal. She kind of taught DEI, and I wasn't really awake to that until COVID hit. And I got put on work from home from COVID, which wasn't really work from home. It was kind of still get paid and be at home. And then I got to go down all these rabbit holes. But I just want to say that what you guys are doing is awesome. I realized that when I started calling out some PsyOp stuff and how it manipulates people, that now I'm starting to get, once again, banned on platforms, and have Twitter tell me that. And I'm wondering if it's, I hate to say this, but is the White Hats want to not let everybody know that they're in on the psyop too? Like, don't see through that. Am I making any sense?
No, we get that question a lot. First of all, again, thank you for your service, and I just have to say, what you're talking about is just yet another one of the reasons why this whole process has to go so delicately, because of people like yourself and millions of you that served, and it doesn't matter the deception or not, you still served, and we still all value that. But the experience you're describing, you can't just flip the tables on people overnight. As far as I just want to go around the horn. My theory on censorship is, at this point, I'm not saying there's no dark forces out there. Like, the internet is the kind of place where there still could be some like middle management, bad things going on. I personally tend to think, this has been my standing theory. I'd actually love to hear Kate's opinion on this first, because I know you have a good handle on it. I've thought for a long time, at least for the last few years, that the bigger platforms, the X, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, etc., YouTube, that they left a certain amount of a censorship apparatus in place. Because once again, what do you do with somebody? We all went through it. You guys went through it before me, then I went through it. Well, what happens to somebody, like if I meet somebody today at the coffee shop and I teach them about vaccines, right? And now they want to go online, they're going to start blasting information about vaccines, and they're just waking up. They still have to experience what the censorship looks like. You can't take that experience away from people. Otherwise, they're not getting the full picture. So without getting too specific, Brian, to what you're posting, I still think that there's some optics going on with censorship, so that when people wake up to things, not only you're waking up, but you realize that you're being censored, because you can't recreate that for somebody. You can't just tell people like, hey, did you know they censored 20 million people? Well, if you're not one of those 20 million, it doesn't affect you. But I don't know, Kate, what do you think?
Oh, it is a great point. People do have to see it and feel it for themselves, because otherwise it's really unfortunate that we live in a world where people not only don't care when things don't happen to them, they root for it when it serves them. The things that they would fight against when they happen to them, that's never the way that it should be. Really, one of the main problems, one of the main focuses of this Great Awakening is that we need a return to morality and ethics. That's the thing right there, morality and ethics, and then you clean everything else up. Politics is downstream of morality and ethics. Yep. So, but yeah, you're right. They probably do need a taste of it with the censorship. I just wanted to say, what is this? I forgot
Brian.
Yeah. Okay. Brian, I just wanted to say to you personally, first of all, thank you, and how much I feel for you, and the experience that you had to come home and have to question what you just risked your entire life for. And there are a lot of people who, we can all talk a big game, but there's something just incredibly honorable about putting your money where your mouth is when you believe in something, and risking the ultimate sacrifice to go and do that. And this is something that is so tragic when it comes to veterans in this country, the way that we treat them. And the ancient Greeks celebrated when their warriors came home. They were celebrated. They spent time in nature. There were festivals for them and stuff like that. Our guys come home and we're just like, yeah, thanks. If even that. And so that psychological impact is another reason why I do think it has to be handled delicately, because things like people losing loved ones to cancer, veterans coming home realizing they put their lives on the line, they lost friends, they lost loved ones over there. Those are the things that it's not like, oh yeah, just rip off the Band-Aid, people will be able to handle it. No, actually, these are the people that we need to think of, that there does need to be a soft landing, and they deserve it.
Well said. Well said. Brian, thank you so much for the call, my friend. And,
yeah, can I just add one thing before you cut me?
Of course, please do.
I want to give the other guys some chance. But I want to thank Dave. I want to thank you, Patrick, Kate, and Jeff. I tune in to Joe Rambo and news treason every day. Every day I got you on my headphones. I got you. I would say that like you're probably keeping me sane right now. And I say that because I'll end it with this. The hardest thing was realizing that I was manipulated to do what I thought I needed to do to save the country and to protect the country. But I think it was a manipulation, and I'm good with that. But it's something that is very hard. It was hard for me to deal with, and I'm sure it's hard for other people to deal with when they're veterans. They're going to wake up to it. I'm proud of what I did, and I did it because it was in my heart. But I'm starting to realize that I was just a pawn in the game, if that makes any sense.
Well, we
Absolutely,
all
my
are.
friend.
We
Absolutely, my friend.
are.
And you should be proud of what you did always.
All right. So I'll let you guys get to another caller. Thanks for having me on, and I'll be following you. And I look forward maybe to next week to come in and maybe talk about something else if I get a little bit more time.
I was going to say, Brian, please make sure you stay in touch with us. Call again.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, my friend. Take care. All right. Couple more here. We're going to go to Sandy. Sandy, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Before I wanted to say what I wanted to do, my heart goes out to Brian. I am born in 1947. My father was in the Pacific with the Marine Corps. Iwo Jima, he saw the flag go up. And at this point, I consider this my Iwo Jima in trying to get us back with the ship righted. But my father also, World War II, was a psyop getting us into World War II with Pearl Harbor. My mother's brother was killed in Italy. So I understand the suffering, and I understand what my father went through on Iwo. I was a teen when JFK was shot. I couldn't understand how, in that day and age, that a president could be assassinated or shot. I don't know if he really died. But I knew about other presidents. Now, through my king, I've learned they were probably done away with poisoning. The Great Society that followed then with LBJ, that was communism. It broke down the family, and I understood it at the time. The welfare mothers who had no man at the home, the more kids they had, the more money they got. This was dependency on the government, and I considered it communism. I remember Khrushchev banging his shoe on the table of the UN, but I was never afraid. I thought one nukes the other. That's never going to happen. So I never lived with the fear of that other people of my generation did. I could never understand. George Bush the first said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." And then they passed taxes. I thought, there's nothing to trust here. This debt, I was raised that you never borrow anything other than money to buy a house if you can't pay cash for it. So I grew up that way. Where did these continuing resolutions come from? Suddenly they appeared out of nowhere. All my life, there was a budget to pass. Even though we were printing money, it made no sense. 9/11, when the Patriot Act, I thought, we are losing our freedom right then and there. I remember as a young person going to the airline counter, buying a half-price ticket to get to Chicago to visit my cousins. You couldn't just walk up to an airline counter. I couldn't just park in front of the sidewalk where my husband would come out of the terminal to pick him up. You had to be off. So we were losing our freedom with the Patriot Act. The election of 2020 woke me up the next day. I thought, we've been taken over by a communist system. We have no free elections. And that really was my turning point, where I got involved in local politics. There was a place for a committee person in the Republican Party. So I've been involved with the local people, knocking on doors. They tell me this is good versus evil. So I understand what's in the mind of the common people and the community where I live. Audit the Vote got me understanding the election fraud. We did online things when we were stuck with COVID and shut down. That there were more, Pennsylvania had more ballots counted than people who actually voted. So
Correct.
that
Yep.
opened my eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, and with the Constitution study, which as a fifth grade teacher, I taught it, so I had a basic idea about it. And a friend introduced me to Q, and that's when I started listening to everything I could to understand how it plays out. And I thank you very much. I was listening that when Charlie Kirk thing happened. Oh, going back to Donald Trump. I knew enough about the PSYOP thing. I was not watching him speak at the time, and some people were texting me he had been shot. I thought, I'm going to watch the replay of this. And it was, I thought, what am I seeing or not seeing? And I knew immediately he was not shot. And it was watching your program where people had made comments, and I was reading the comments. I didn't know about a live chat at that point. But people saying, I was in theater. I know how the red dye comes out, that type of thing. It's confirmed for me that what I was discerning was not what the narrative was. And I understand now that we have to go with the narrative. And the Charlie Kirk thing, I was listening with Rainbow and AO, and they came up and somebody said, oh, Erica posted Psalm 46:1. Well, what was that cue drop? Something about,
Yep.
So
What makes your
anyway,
movie good? Great actors.
Yep.
Thank you, Sandy.
And I knew and meant it, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That age, she was able to see through all that. That's pretty awesome. All right, couple more, and then we got to wrap, guys. Dar Spencer, go ahead. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Hi.
I just wanted to make you guys aware that in Pennsylvania, actually specifically Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we have a little group, a little remnant church, Red Pill group. And we get together probably every month, every other month. And we all have our specific things that we research. And we have a pastor who is very red pilled. And he is absolutely amazing, him and his wife. And actually, within about 2 weekends here, we're going to be getting together for a weekend retreat. And we're all going to get together. We're bringing new people in, and we're going to be getting together and talking about all of the stuff that's going on, including the biblical part of it. And we're kind of hoping to maybe call in on that Friday night and
That would be
talk to you
fantastic.
guys.
That'd be awesome.
But I've seen stuff that Sean and the girls are doing, and other people, and we just wanted to let you guys know that we do have that group here in Harrisburg too. And I kind of wish Joe Rambo was still in Pennsylvania, because we kind of wanted him to join in a little bit. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of it, that there are groups out here that are doing our part, because we're getting ready for this. We know it's coming, and we're going to try to help people.
Oh, we would love to hear from you. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. All right, and then we're gonna go to Mary Mac. Mary Mac, welcome.
Thank you. How are you all doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm getting over some health issues, but I'm doing much better. Anyway, what I was calling about, it's no big deal, but I'm curious. Have you noticed on YouTube how they're bringing back some of these old timers that I followed back in January 6th? Doug Tenaple, who is Doug in Exile, he's still been there for all these years. Lumberjack Logic, he's been there for all these years. But in the last couple days, I've seen George Bahisi, CanCon, which has still been around with Badlands.
Yep.
And Nick Moseder. And
Yeah,
those guys,
they just gave a whole bunch of people their accounts back this week.
What is all that about?
Because there was a lawsuit or something, and Google came out and they had to admit that they were working with the Biden administration to censor people, and they said they were going to take their AI away. It was we went through it on one of the shows. Now
I missed
that's
that.
not. Yeah, they had to admit all this wrongdoing and said they're not going to set. Now I appealed to get my account back, and they said no. So it's not completely there yet. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's happening. Now I was
Yeah.
watching all those guys on Jan 6th,
Mhm.
and my neighbors came busting through the front door and says, "What's going on?" And I said, "Watch this, watch this." And they were all saying, as all of us were saying, those are not our people.
Yep.
Right.
That will. Yep. 100%.
I got
So
my
it has-
channel back. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Kate.
I was just gonna say they reinstated my channel. It's back up. You can watch the videos, you can comment on it, but I cannot access it.
Oh,
I can't
well, that's
go to
nice.
log in.
Kate, if it makes you feel any better, even when you're able to access it, they're going to make sure nobody actually finds your videos ever.
Yeah.
It is as shadow banned as can be imagined.
There's guys I watch on YouTube that are not related to this. They do like camping stuff, and you have these guys. They build them up to like 500,000 followers, and if you have 500,000 followers on YouTube, you're making a very, very good living. And then all of a sudden, they're doing it for 5 years, and one day they come on, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, my viewership's down 50% this year because they didn't dance a certain way, the way YouTube wants." And then they just like there's channels where I sit there, and I'm like, all of a sudden it'll pop up on my feed, and I'm subscribed to it. I'm like, oh, I forgot about this guy, and I realize he's posted like 20 videos, and it just didn't get put in my feed. Like I'm not a.
I would watch them. You'd get like your following would steadily grow, and then I would watch literally them take away exactly 1,000 subscribers all at once, as if 1,000 people all at once on my channel were like, never mind. And, like, I would watch it happen all the time with my own eyes.
Yeah. So are you going to use your channel at all, or you're just going to leave it up for the way it was?
I literally can't even access it to do anything. Even like it's sitting there. It might even be making money. Who's got access to it? I don't know. Not me.
Right.
And maybe they just are, it's taking time. But I honestly think, yeah, they're reluctantly letting everyone back on. But like Patrick's saying, if they want to stop, I mean, they still have powers over us. And that's the problem. There's no transparency with this.
Check this out, Kate. So I decided, after I heard that YouTube had decided to become decent people, I said, okay, well, I'm going to stream to YouTube. I'm streaming to my YouTube even as we speak right now. And there are, holy crap, there's 14 people watching. That's like a bumper crop for my YouTube channel. Anyway, I got a strike for playing music. In the old days, they'd say, we're going to mute that. No. They gave me a strike and cut me off of streaming for a week because music got played. So they're going to ramp up every other possible reason to ban me.
Patrick, there are guys I watch that do travel video vlogs. If you're walking through a cafeteria on a cruise ship and they're playing a top 40 song and you're talking like this and it's way in the background, they give them a strike. That's how crazy they're at.
This is how you know YouTube is not a real company, because they shoot themselves in the foot every step of the way. What do people go to YouTube for? Sasquatch. They cracked down on all of the conspiratorial content. They got rid of all of us goofy MRFers, and they kept and so that's how you know it is not a genuine business model. They are,
They've got Federal Reserve notes being printed by the Rothschilds. They don't have to worry about money.
Right. Yeah. We are the commodity. It's the control of information. YouTube exists and probably always did for this specific reason, so that they would be able to control the flow of the information.
Yeah, that's why I have people that are like, well, if they free YouTube, you should go over there. I'm like, I don't care if I could build 1 million followers on YouTube and all the money and fame. I wouldn't want it because I see what they do to people.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, okay, great. Yes, Rumble is amazing. Like, I'm happy with, but we are in an echo chamber. Like, the point is that we need to start reaching some of those people. And what does YouTube has like 3-point-something billion followers? Billion.
It's like 3 billion, and I think Rumble at last count is like 260 million. It is a fraction.
And Rumble, they already think like us.
Yeah.
Well, 260 million. That's a lot of humans. And we don't have anywhere near a significant portion of that. So any ideas on how we can expand our reach on Rumble, email me at pgunnels@gmail.com.
Well, if we could pump up the Rumble stock enough, we can do a hostile takeover on anyway. All right, you know what, guys, we're gonna have to wrap there because we are getting to 3 hours. And like I said, I want to be respectful of Jeff and Kate and Patrick's time. I apologize to Cindy and CBO and Deb. I could not get to you guys. Please call in next week. I have your names here. I will get to you guys first next week. In fact, I'm going to screen cap that right now so I know. And we're going to get some final thoughts and thank yous. But I do not want to forget to acknowledge our good friend David Becker as its open enrollment period. I should have done this earlier in the show. My apologies, but we're going to hear from David Becker, and then we're going to do some thank yous and final thoughts and get you guys out of here. We will be right back. Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Fall marks open enrollment and the time when insurance companies announce next year's rate increases. Some carriers are expecting premium hikes of 20 to 30%. For many, the high cost of medical insurance is about to get even worse. At Mid-Atlantic Business Alliance, David Becker and his son Jesse have been helping their clients keep their costs affordable while providing the best possible PPO coverage. The hospital and insurance systems are corrupt, and it is critical to have a trusted ally like Mid-Atlantic Business Alliance on your side. David and Jesse will help you navigate the system to help keep your premium affordable and your out-of-pocket costs to a minimum. Why not call today for a free quote? Call David Becker at 609-577-8557 or visit midatlanticba.com/news treason. That's David Becker at 609-577-8557 or visit midatlanticba.com/news treason. And our thanks to David Becker, who I know will be probably watching this at 3 o'clock this morning when he gets done doing 1 hour phone calls with every Anon that calls in. But again, thank you to David Becker, and thank you to each and every one of you that participate and help support him as well. Great Patreon company there. All right, let me take a minute and acknowledge D-Tech. Thank you for gifting 5 subscriptions. Doc Eads for gifting 5 subscriptions, and B-Hawk3 for gifting 3. And let's get to some rants here, starting with Chick is Fearless with a $17 rant. Says open lines and a little wine equals a perfect Friday night. Thank you very much for that. Yay for the truth with a $1 rant. Says Dollar Holler Yo. Beer at the Parade started that, and it seems to be catching on. Thank you for that. Annie BU with a $4 Rumble rant. $4 holla. One for each of you. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you, Annie. Grammy005 with a $5 rant. It is amazing to see how this show has grown. Thank you, Dave and team. Thank you very much. The show has grown because we've had a lot of really good, brilliant, intelligent audience members that love participating. And I hope we had some more new people again tonight. So I hope you guys see that nobody here bites, and take the plunge next time and call in. Not Lost in Space. Love that username. $2 Rumble rant. Good evening, Patriots. Not Lost in Space. Patrick, what do you think that person believes?
I think they think we don't live on a floating ball rocket.
That's spinning in the galaxy, and the galaxy itself is plunging
going
through
a million
space.
miles an hour and going all sorts of places.
PJW, Dave, you don't look or act like George stepping off of his meds. I like that name. At least your mental illness fits perfectly with this bunch of groupie Q-tards. Much love to Kate, too. Good to see you. Thank you very much, PJW. Micro Toolmaker, who I believe I'll be seeing this week down here in Florida. $55 Rumble rant. Where we go one, we go all. Thank you, brother. He also gifted 10 subscriptions. Thank you, Micro Toolmaker. As always, Lynn Berntrang with a $1 rant. Welcome, Kate. This is where it's happening.
Apparently,
yeah. And again, thanks for doing this tonight, Kate. You did, as always, a fantastic job. Not the least bit surprised. PJW with a $17 rant. We don't have to red pill anyone anymore because reality is now dispensing rectal suppositories to those those are closer to the source of their confusion. I honestly agree with that. Just let it play out at this point. Let it play out. Canada Lori with a $10 rant. Please have Lisa on for a show. I need to know how to get through to my liberal brainwashed parents. We will work on doing that, Patrick. I'm sure you'll get that email. We'll figure something out there. If you're starting with liberal brainwashed parents, good luck to you.
Tell them about the moon landing being fake. That works every time.
Good point. JSTX99 sent a Rumble link in, and it says Trump ties to Jacob, father of Israel. I will have to take a look at that later, but thank you for the rant and thank you for sharing that. Post Miz Barb, good to see you with a $2 rant. Waited last week and tonight too. Had to go. I'll try next week. Great show, great callers. Good to see Kate. God wins. Thank you, Barb. Sorry we couldn't talk to you this week, but I'm sure we'll get to you next week. Lori Regario with a $1 rant. Great show. Thank you each for all that you do. Thank you, Lori. Janice asking again for prayers and a financial miracle, please. Thanks for all you guys do. Janice, the frame lady. Janice, we are praying for you each and every day. Thank you very much for that. Denise Volbrack with a $5 rant. Connecting to God, creator, no middleman is key to elevating consciousness. I love this panel. We got this. Thank you, Denise. Good to hear from you as always. Oh, and Denise came in again with a $10 rant. Okay, let's get woo around the panel. Do you believe in sleep time astroplane that we connect with other lives?
Yup. I do.
Yes.
I don't. I refuse to have an opinion on that. It could be.
I believe it.
I don't not believe it. It's one of those things that I haven't thought about it enough to have an opinion on it. But I know a lot of people do, and at this point, there's not a thing I don't believe. You're never gonna hear me say I don't believe in something, because that's when I find out it's true.
I don't live on a ball.
I don't live on a ball. No.
Ball rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I just can't get on board with that one. Belinda Q with a $10 rant. Thanks for keeping me sane, motivated, and laughing here in Upside Down Land. It's amazing we don't fall off down here. Gravity is real, with a bunch of laughing emojis. I believe there's just a couple more here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. I think that, there's one more here. Pamela Holleran with a $1 rant and a heart. Thank you, Pamela. Good to see you. And Quinny63 just came in with a $17 rant. Love to you all. Changing hearts and minds one at a time. TDS musician tonight. He knows who I am and he still likes me. Oh, I guess she has a musician playing at the bar tonight with TDS. Quinny is in the thick of it all there. And Jay, yeah, red pill him. Jay Cherney with a $5 rant. Great show, everyone. I see 2 channels for Kate. Which one is hers? It is this one that I will put up on the screen right now.
So I noticed that's my user. It doesn't matter. People can follow me either place. My user is the Kate Awakening. Then there's also my channel. But either way, I broadcast. When it goes on my channel, it goes on my user. So
okay. And if you guys are watching on replay, the info for Patrick and Kate as well, you will find in the description below. Jeff is a social media ghost. Jeff, we can't get you on X. Come on, man.
Yeah, I got to do something about that.
All right. And I believe that is it. Thank you all very much. And let me ask you guys one last time. Please hit that thumbs up button on Rumble, the heart on X. We greatly appreciate it. This has been a great one tonight. I want to go around the horn and get some final thoughts. And please, guys, let everyone know where they can find you, what you have going on next on your shows. And we will start with Kate.
Well, you can find me everywhere on the Kate Awakening, Telegram, Twitter, Rumble, True Social. That might be it, actually. And I do shows Monday days at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. I do a show called The Dark Night of the Soul with my friend Patricia. We talk about kind of the spiritual battle and the element of the awakening where you go through the really dark parts, which is kind of universal with all of us, we're finding. And then I do typically Thursday nights, the Kate Awakening, which is just kind of a live chat, but baseball has taken over my life. So I haven't been able to do the last couple ones, but I'm around, I'm around. I try to do shows whenever I can, just to check.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
I appreciate it. Jeff.
Yeah, well, I just want to say I can't thank you guys enough for allowing me to join the panel today. It's been a lot of fun for me. It's been a thrill, and listening to the audience. The audience is amazing, and I want to reiterate what the audience has been saying. As an audience member myself, you guys are amazing. You are the truth in our minds and our souls, and we thank you so much for the time that you spend sharing this stuff with us. It means a lot to us. You need to understand what you guys mean to us. So it's amazing. Keep going. Don't ever get dismayed about shadow banning and all sorts of nonsense. Just keep doing what you're doing. It means so much to all of us. So keep going. It's amazing.
Thank you, brother. Patrick?
Well, first of all, don't forget tulipblooms.shop, promo code channel 17. Buy an 8-ounce rainfall. You get a 2-ounce rainfall absolutely free of charge. Don't forget promo code channel 17. Tomorrow after the D-Class show, the Pat and Jeff show, we're going to be talking about DUMBs. That's right, deep underground military bases. Some good stories, some good testimony from people who, well, they saw the evidence with their own eyes. Great stuff. You're going to love every minute of it. That's on the Pat and Jeff show on the P. Gunnels Rumble channel. If I could just do a quick shout out to the wonderful Micro Toolmaker for the $55 Rumble Rant and the 10 gifted subscriptions, and Tanner Cat 7 for the $17 Rumble Rant. Patrick, keep rocking the phones. You're a patriot. I appreciate the Rumble Rant. Susie Q, $25. Do you know how happy I am to see Kate and Patrick on the same show? Love. Yes, it is nice to be reunited with Kate. Bond Bake, $17. Great group, beautiful anons. I'm enjoying your show very much. Thanks, Patrick. And Barb Naylor, $1. Another dollar holla. Patrick's products are unbelievably amazing. Epic Minerals, Blue Calm, so far my favorite. Thank you so very much, everybody. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. And there is one more rant that came in that I definitely have to read. It says, Kate looks like she could be in the Trump administration. Definitely a compliment, LOL, but she's also smart and very interesting. I'll follow her. Thank you, Annie. Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, thank you again. And once again, thank each and every one of you who called in, who watched. As far as over here, tomorrow night, as a reminder, I will be on with Patrick and Joe Rambo, and we will have the one and only Professor David Clements here. Can't wait for that one, where we have a lot to discuss, especially based on the show we did last week. So that will be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I want to thank Carrie Cat, Claudia, and Doug, our admins and mods, for all their help, and of course, each and every one of you that tuned in. And again, I just want to say to the panel, I just think I have to say I'm blessed to have somebody like Jeff, who met you as a caller, and I actually sit and watch your shows now on a Saturday night after we do ours, and I think you guys do an incredible job over there. And Kate and Patrick, like I said before, both of you guys, Kate, it's interesting you were talking about Dark Night of the Soul, because you and Patrick are definitely two of the people that were an incredible help to me a number of years ago when I was certainly going through my Dark Night of the Soul. So to have you guys on the screen doing the show with me is just very, very cool, and I'm thankful for it. So again, Kate, Jeff, and Patrick, thank you guys so much for being here, for doing this tonight. Can't wait to do it again. And again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in. We will catch you guys tomorrow night for D-Class with David Clements, Patrick, and Joe Rambo. Everybody have a fantastic night, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That song's from my old one-eyed father. Came back from the service with one eye. He never complained about it my whole life. And all the stuff I do for the great and mighty USO, and all the good work they do for our fantastic military. It's all in dedication to my father. And I'd like to do this song for him tonight. American girls, American guys will always stand up and salute, and always recognize when we see Old Glory flying. There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night when we lay down our head. My daddy served in the army, we lost his right eye and he flew our flag out in our yard. Till the day that he died, he wanted my mother, my brother, my sister and me to grow up and live forever in the land of the free. This nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. As soon as we could see clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like a 4th of July. Put your name on top of his list. The Statue of Liberty started singing her miss. Eagle will fly, it's gonna be here. Then you live on freedom, start ringing that bell. It'll feel like the whole wide world raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. They're here tonight, right out there. Oh, and justice will be served, battle will rage. Good guys win every time you rattle their cage. Man, you'd be sorry you messed with my U.S. of A. We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name on top of his list. Statue of Liberty started singing her miss. The eagle will fly, it's gonna be here. When you hear more freedom start ringing her bell, it'll feel like the whole wide world raining down on you. And it's brought to you courtesy of the red, white, blue. Yeah. Oh, my red, white, blue. God bless our military. Thank you. God bless America.
That's treason. That's treason. They say, holy shit, they caught us. They caught us.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
And they know the judgment day shall come.